Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us for today's presentation on the benefits of essential oils before and after cancer treatment. Please let us know what you learned from today's presentation by leaving us a comment down below. Now without further ado, I'd like to present to you Reiki and Pranic Healing Practitioner Tiffany Alvarez.
Hello everyone, my name is Tiffany. Thank you for joining us today. So excited to speak with all of you about some amazing healing oils, essential oils. I am a Reiki practitioner, pranic healing practitioner. I also do other interesting things such as aromatherapy. I work with crystals. I also play sacred instruments for healing. So let's go ahead and get started with all the important, interesting information. A lot of this will assist you if you'd like to use them during and after cancer treatment, but I've also included other applications, such as for use around the home. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so what is an essential oil? If you've never heard of one, they're very special, okay? They basically come from plants. They're most commonly steam distilled. So what happens is somebody gathers a plant, they may retrieve the bark, the leaves, flowers, stems, some piece of it, and they put it in a distiller machine. They basically raise the temperature in there and they have water which creates vapor, and it's a distillation process where they then extract the oils from the plants. And this process creates a very highly concentrated product that they bottle up, and that is what your essential oil is. So it's interesting because plants produce these oils naturally, and they do so to keep herbivores away so they don't get eaten too much, to ward off insects that might destroy the plant, for instance. But they also want to attract pollinators, okay? So as you can imagine, something very fragrant might taste awful to a deer or an animal that is trying to eat a plant. However, the fragrance will also draw in the correct kind of insects to help them pollinate. So it's amazing. We use about 150 essential oils today. And the one thing I recommend if you decide to explore essential oils is do not buy a synthetic one. Look very carefully on the bottle. If you see the words perfume or fragrance, do not purchase it. There are synthetic chemicals in there, additives. And the beneficial applications of an essential oil, a true essential oil, will not be contained in that bottle. So be a wary consumer and do your research before you decide to purchase. So let's talk a little bit about how we can use these oils and some of the benefits. So these oils for us, once we've distilled them, collected them, and bottled them, can create calm, relaxation, help with our moods, reduce anxiety and inflammation as well. So lots of therapeutic effects. You may have heard of the term aromatherapy, right? Aroma and the therapy of breathing in, smelling in fragrances that are natural. So let's talk a little bit about how essential oils are used in aromatherapy. So I will say it's very important before you go to the store, purchase oils, and start using them in your daily life to speak to your healthcare practitioner. It's very important that you discuss this topic with your doctor, okay, depending at what stage of treatment and cancer you are, if you are in remission, okay. So these are some ideas, but please remember to always, always do research and speak with a professional first. So one thing you can do if this works for you and your doctor agrees it's a good thing to try, you can actually put a few drops of an essential oil that you like, the fragrance you like, on a Kleenex or on your pillowcase, and it will actually help you go to sleep at night. It will help calm you, that aroma. I actually had a student, I taught high school, he carried around a little case of different essential oils. And it was so interesting. He would bring out different bottles, like if he needed to focus during an exam, if he was a little sleepy at school, he knew which ones helped lift his mood or make him more alert. Isn't that amazing? So these are actually beneficial for anyone of any age, as long as you speak with your doctor first and it's a good fit for you. So diffusing essential oils, you may have heard of this. So this is the main way that you can use aromatherapy. So a diffuser, and I'll show you a few photos in a moment, is kind of like a humidifier. So you add water and a few drops of the essential oil of your choice, and you turn it on, and you get this vapor that fills the room. It's wonderful because it's an air freshener. It helps your house smell nice, but it has all the therapeutic effects, such as calming and reducing anxiety and uplifting mood. So here are a couple of photos on the top. Those are diffusers. There are many different kinds. Some run on batteries, some you can plug into the wall, and they have different sized tanks for different volumes of water, depending on what route you want to go. And at the bottom here, we're going to talk about these in a moment. There's a sweet almond oil and a jojoba oil. Those are actually called carrier oils, and we'll talk about those in a moment. Because essential oils are so concentrated, it's important to dilute them. If you make any contact with skin or use it in some other application, maybe around the house, and we'll talk about that in a moment. In the middle there, we have some beeswax pellets. I will also talk about how you can add essential oils to beeswax, melt it down, or even soy, and you can produce a salve, and you can actually make lotions and other personal care products. Okay, so like I mentioned, during active treatment, extremely important to always consult with your health provider first before putting any essential oils directly on the skin, because sensitivity will vary between people, but we obviously do not want an adverse reaction, which can happen. Even though essential oils are therapeutic, everybody receives them differently. So if your doctor agrees, it's a good idea to try some essential oils. Here's some options for you. So the carrier oils, that's that concept I mentioned. I showed the photos of the sweet almond or jojoba. Those are a couple of examples. You could use coconut oil, sesame seed oil. There are so many out there, even olive oil, okay? And what you can do is actually mix some drops in with that carrier oil to dilute it, and so you can use a bit more of it to put over a larger portion of skin if that's something that works for you. Also, with a carrier oil, or even with water actually, you can apply a drop, okay, once your oil is diluted, to the inside of your wrist, for instance, or on the bottom of your feet. Actually, for young children and babies, putting a tiny bit of lavender oil on the bottom of their feet helps a finicky child get to sleep. So it also calms adults. It works for all of us. Okay, so I did mention you can make a salve for dry skin. It can also be used for burns or cuts. So essential oils can help in all of those situations for healing. They have healing properties. However, always be careful, whether it's in an oil, if you made it with the beeswax and a salve, to avoid your face and eyes always. Just very sensitive areas of the body. Okay, and an adverse reaction could occur if it were to get in those areas of the face. If your skin becomes irritated, do not rinse with water. Okay, if you start having a reaction with some oil on the surface of your skin, whether it's diluted, okay, it should be diluted. So once on skin, if it starts to burn or a reaction occurs of any kind, do not rinse with water, because we know water and oil do not mix, correct? So what you need to do is use another oil, such as olive or coconut, any kind really, and it will stop the reaction. Very important. So the first time you're going to use some oils, have another carrier oil around handy that you can use if you start to feel a sensation on your skin. It's recommended that you do not use essential oils on your pets. They are very concentrated, very strong, and again, an adverse reaction could take place, and we wouldn't want that for our furry friends. Okay, so for during cancer treatment, let me talk about some options and recommendations. So first of all, I do encourage you to advocate for yourself, okay? It's okay to follow conventional treatment. It's good, okay? It's also good to maybe explore other options that will assist you through your process of treatment. So there's nothing wrong with exploring alternative treatments that can support your treatment program. So you can even, incorporate acupuncture, meditation practices, mindfulness, even massages. And what's interesting is in a lot of those, essential oils are often used by practitioners. So essential oils have really crossed into a lot of different modalities. And so they're really wonderful. And massage therapists are using them more and more, I've seen recently. Again, always use with caution, but feel free to explore. Really enjoy it if you decide to look into essential oils. They can have really great benefits. Now, lavender and frankincense, these are always okay to diffuse, okay? So no matter your state of health, no matter your age, lavender and frankincense are very common oils, very healing, and there have not really been a lot of recorded observations of people having reactions. And for diffusing, for instance, they just really enter your nasal air passageways and go through the whole body and create that sense of calm and relaxation. It's interesting, lemon, if you get a concentrated lemon essential oil, they're known to be anti-tumoral. So in some studies, they have seen lemon essential oil cause tumors to subside. Isn't that amazing? So please know you can't consume most essential oils. 99% of them you cannot consume. We've talked about some topical treatment, diffusing, putting it on a pillow, on a Kleenex, right? But I will say this, if this is something you want to explore, doTERRA is a very reputable company. They sell a few oils like cilantro, lemon, lime, like other citruses, things like that, that you can actually consume, that you could add to water, for instance, like a drop a day, something like that. However, again, always seek guidance before doing something like that, but just know, isn't it amazing how these oils have crossed over into so many applications? So that's something else you could research as well. doTERRA, highly recommend that company. So in general, all citrus oils really help elevate mood, okay? And the smell of citrus, it also can relieve depression, feelings of grief and sorrow, okay? So they have done lots of studies on these oils, and citrus is a really amazing one. For relaxation in general, rose is great, geranium, and jasmine. Those are a few more that I highly recommend. Okay, so during treatment and in remission, I want to encourage you, if you decide to go this route, under the guidance of your doctor or professional, purchase essential oils you're drawn to. So try out the different scents. There are a lot of tester bottles you can try. Now you can get essential oils at some grocery stores like Sprouts, Whole Foods. They have them in many places. Even Walmart has some, but you have to, again, look on the ingredient list to make sure there's nothing synthetic in it. So really test out the oils, and what you're drawn to, I recommend purchasing. So it's really neat. There's science behind this concept. When you go to the grocery store and you're drawn to the colors of a certain fruit or vegetable, studies have shown that it means that fruit or vegetable contains a mineral or nutrient your body needs, that your body is lacking. Isn't that amazing how our eyes and our brain basically communicate with our entire body, and we're drawn to certain colors for certain reasons? So same thing with the essential oils. I bring up that example because it's the same kind of concept. Go with your intuition. And again, the number one rule, always test for sensitivities first. And not only on skin, definitely see how you react to the smell, okay? If at any moment you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or nauseous, immediately put the oil down, and it's recommended you do not use that one at all, okay? So that's why it's good to test them out first, to read about them, read about the benefits, and really decide with some research what would be best for you. Okay, I'd like to cover some other applications in which you can use essential oils. So you can make cleaning products at home. I have my spray bottles just filled with water. I use peppermint, for instance, and citrus blends in the kitchen, okay? It smells amazing. You can even use it to clean floors, okay? So, you know, your imagination is there's no limits. If you use your imagination with cleaning products, you can create whatever smells good to you. And in combination, like I mentioned, you can add more than one type of oil. So candle making, you can find candles these days made from essential oils. It's more and more common. And if that's something you like to do or would like to try, they definitely sell kits. You can purchase them probably at Michael's, places like that. And they may or may not include the essential oils, but you can incorporate them in. And again, that's another type of air freshener, right? And fragrance for the home. So insect repellents. Remember we talked about how plants produce these to repel certain insects, the ones that could destroy the plant, for instance. So I create my own repellents in small spray bottles with water and a combination. I use eucalyptus, tea tree oil, lemongrass, and you can look up recipes online. You can try your own, but this is a great option for your kids, for instance, for anybody of any age, really. It's natural, it smells amazing, right? And you can create it and make it your own. So that is another option for you. Another thing I recommend is trying a couple of drops in your bath water for relaxation. You might even want to add some Epsom salt or some Dead Sea salts, any kind of salt to the water as well. Extremely relaxing for the muscles, for the mind, okay, for the spirit. Wonderful. You can have really amazing experiences adding essential oils to your water. I personally like to just add lavender. That's my favorite. Whatever works for you, you may try. And it's wonderful because if you just put a few drops in the bath water, it's highly diluted, correct? Highly diluted because there's a lot of water in that bathtub. So the chance of reaction is extremely low. Another option is to actually add a few drops to your laundry water, okay, right before you start the wash cycle. So again, whatever you're drawn to, what makes sense to you, what smells good, and hey, you could even use it and save money and not have to buy detergent if this is a route you'd like to go. So definitely try it out and see if it works for you. Okay, some final recommendations here. So that book, I actually own this book right here. But I'll tell you, there are hundreds of books, hundreds and hundreds on essential oils, and a lot of research and directories like that talk about different oils online. So just know there are plenty of resources when you decide to start researching. So anxiety, okay, for during treatment, after treatment, even just if you have stress in your life. This can be for anybody, okay? Anxiety. Lemon balm is good, cypress is great, and bergamot. So again, you can diffuse these. That's what's recommended to calm and relax, is to put them in the diffuser with water. Neroli is a type of essential oil that helps with grief and shock. Okay, so those types of emotions, neroli is extremely relaxing. It calms the nervous system. Okay, and it definitely helps with coping, acceptance, and yeah, just reducing stress and inflammation, helping the entire human body. So like I've mentioned, do your own research. You can even speak with the naturopath, okay? Somebody who works a lot with herbs maybe and oils, and they work with all kinds of different things like that. They would have a lot of information, and they probably have a lot of experience working with people. So if you also wanted to appoint yourself with a naturopath, I would recommend giving them a try as well. So yes, the library, you may order books online. There's a lot of free information on websites as well. If you'd just like to go that route and print some things out or take notes for yourself. So definitely have fun with it. And if it's something you're drawn to and this resonates with you, definitely look into it. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Feel free, you may email me with any questions you have. You can also put the questions below the video here on Facebook, and Abigail will make sure to get those to me so I can answer all your questions. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany, and thank you to all for tuning in today. Don't forget to leave us a comment down below to let us know what you learned from today's presentation. And please don't forget to follow us on our Facebook at The Pink Ribbon Plays for future presentations. Thank you all so much, and until next time. Bye.